What's up, YouTube? My name is Logician, and it's my first video series I'm doing. Been watching YouTube for a long time now. It's been really helpful for me, and but something happened. I don't know how I got to them, but I started watching these videos about black women and white women, black women and white men, and then they got to black women and thugs and nice guys versus bad boys, and this stuff is all over YouTube. So the reason I'm making this video series is I figure I can contribute something positive to the conversation. There are a lot of frustrated men out there, and women frustrated about this whole situation. Why are women choosing these type of men? And it's completely against any type of hope of them having a successful, prosperous relationship. Yet they continue to behave in this fashion, all the while saying that they want a man that's the complete opposite of the one that they've chosen. So hopefully this video series will help clear some of these questions up for you guys. And first thing I want to say is that this phenomenon of women wanting bad boys and thugs is nothing new, and it crosses all ethnic groups and nationalities. For example, I saw a documentary on the ghettos of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and these guys, they were doing a documentary on the drug dealers down there. And a lot of the young boys are being recruited into the drug trade in the ghetto. So they drop out of school, they end up being illiterate, but they end up making a lot of money being drug dealers. So they ask them, they just generally ask them questions. And so you got these guys sitting around being interviewed. They got their face covered, the whole sunglasses and face, or they might have a mask on or something to hide their identity. They all holding guns. So they said, well, you guys holding these guns, how does that make you feel? And the guys, these young boys said, well, it makes us feel powerful, it makes us feel good, Plus, when the girls see you holding a gun, the girls love it. They fall all over you. When they see you holding these guns, the girls just go crazy. So that's an example of a whole another country where women, are completely fascinated with this, this type of thuggish bad boy behavior. And ancient Rome, you had the gladiators. These guys had to kill people in order to be a successful gladiator. Two men came in the Colosseum, one went out. So you had to kill. If you came out, you killed somebody. But yet and still, you had women that paid a lot of money to sleep with these guys. The gladiators in ancient Rome were the sex symbols of their day. Like rappers or rock stars or athletes are today. They were sex symbols. So you have this phenomenon going all over the world, and it's been going on for thousands of years. But mainly my premise is that the reason why you have this phenomenon in our society, and it's so prevalent, is that people are socialized to behave in ways that aren't conducive to successful, mating, rituals or relationship. For example, young boys and young girls are taught certain things differently at birth, from birth on. Young girls are usually, a young girl is born, she usually grows up, you buy her, pink clothing and stuff like that. She gets her ears pierced, right? And she gets, I don't know, maybe 4 years old. For Christmas, she gets a Barbie doll and a Ken doll, and a Barbie playhouse, right? So what is that conveying to a young girl? I mean, that's conveying very adult ideas about relationships between men and women. So we prepare these young girls for to think about and to grow up with relationships being married or having a boyfriend and a girlfriend being part of their consciousness before they even hit puberty. On top of that, usually young girls, when something happens, you know, let's just say they skin their knee, you know, trying to ride a bike. So, you know, you come out, most parents say, oh, you know, Sally, it's okay. You know, and Sally starts crying and wailing, and she gets comforted generally, right? Her emotions are allowed to just be completely expressed. Whereas boys, young boys, you know, you dress them in blue. And they get for Christmas, instead of a Ken doll or Barbie doll, they get a Tonka truck, you know, with some action figures or video games or something. And so this sort of masculine, you know, this is what's, you know, what's thought to be, you know, little boys are supposed to be masculine. This is what's it. So he goes and skins his knee. You come outside and, you know, as he says, I skinned my knee, he busts out crying. Say, stop crying. You know, you're a big boy. Stop crying. You know, big boys don't cry. So he learns to shut his emotions down. And the only other really tool of analysis we have, the other side of us that is expressed, if it's not emotions, is logic. If it's not logic, it's emotions. That's just how we are. Right brain, left brain. Right? Heart, head. You know. So this young boy is taught to shut his emotions down. And the young girl is taught to allow her emotions to just, you know, she's completely, you know, lets her emotions fly. And she grows up like that. And at the same time that she's learning to be emotional, she's also learning about relationships. So she's thinking about relationships, and so these two elements get completely anchored to one another. The relationship, ideology, and her being emotional. So you got women that grow up with absolutely no type of logical thought process being involved in their in their ideas of relationships. Whereas men we're usually required by society to be logical. You know, we can't just be emotional about everything and just react to stuff emotionally. You have to be logical if you're a man, or else, you know, society will jack you up. So this is how this stuff started. And, you know, and in my belief, this is my premise. So you have these young women and these young men that are taught different things. And generally, you know, when you grow up, all this stuff is programmed into you as a child. So now as an adult, you behave in the same manner that you were taught as a child. But it's unconscious. You don't think about the way you think. It just happens automatically. Y'all see me on part 2.